coached by Olympic coach Lindsay Gaze. The Falcons won 113-94, had some early anxious moments. Playing against the new team in the National Basketball League, the Melbourne Tigers, the Kern Falcons stretched their winning tally to 10 with just 2 losses. It was a typical game for the Newcastle Falcons. They started comfortably enough, but found themselves behind at quarter time 24-19 and at half time 54-46, and they looked to be in some sort of trouble. But they started the third quarter in a totally different frame of mind and hit the Tigers like a lightning bolt with form like this. The session completely from the visitors, and it was really over at three-quarter time after the Falcons had rattled up 40 points in the quarter. Mike Johnson was in superb shooting form and took the Man of the Match award. The 2 Australian imports, Jeff Patterson and Frank Goldfinch, have proved to be ideal additions, and the Falcons are starting to look like championship prospects.
Clash with Coburg at the Sports Entertainment Centre tomorrow night. One of the home team's trump cards is sharpshooter Mike Johnson, who sees it as a real chance to get to the top.
They've got a 3-game weekend, and if we can beat them tomorrow night and West Adelaide beat them on Sunday, we'll clearly lead the Eastern Division, which is a big bonus for us.
You'll be looking forward to another great game this weekend. Last weekend was one of those purple patches.
Yes, I was happy with last week's game, and I'll just be hoping to repeat some of the form this week, and hopefully we can take this one out.
I believe during the week you've had, perhaps I could call it, second thoughts about the Olympic squad for this year?
Yes, I've been approached to rejoin the Olympic squad, and pressure put on me by Dave Ankeny and other people, and I've reconsidered it and have made myself available, and it's just up to the selectors now, and if they decide I'm in, I'm back in. What
about the Coburg side? Benny Lewis, the leading scorer in the league, and he's one of your opponents tomorrow night.
Well, they're very strong. Along with Geelong, they're probably the powerhouse in the league. They've got Benny Lewis, Chuck Harmison, Ray Borner, all really big name players, and they'll be tough to roll. It'll be a good game.
I've said in just the last week or so, you're starting to look like a championship possibility now, Falcons.
Well, this is the best I think we've played. We're playing as a team, and that's what we've lacked in the last few years, and if we can keep it going, we've got a real chance.
Hello and welcome to the Sports Entertainment Centre here in Newcastle for another National Basketball League match. Tonight, the Newcastle Kern Falcons going against the Melbourne Tigers, winners of last year's South Eastern League, coming up to the national competition this year. The Falcons are 9 wins and 2 losses at this moment, averaging 108.7 points for and 97.6 against. The leading scorer, Jim Bateman, with 281 points at an average of 25.5. The Melbourne side come into this match winning 2 and losing 9, averaging 99.4, but conceding 106.8 points against. Andrew Gaze is their leading scorer, 297 at 27 average. With me for tonight's match is the former Australian player and the former Falcons coach, Dennis Kibble. Dennis, I'm suggesting that it's reasonable to perhaps suggest that this is the sort of match that can get away. A top side going against an improving bottom side.
Lee, that's very, very true, and we've found ourselves on the road, and especially after a big win that the Falcons had last week over a top-ranking side, Canberra, that you tend to drop a little bit, and you think it's going to be easy, but there's certainly, I'm certainly Coach Dave Ankeny aware of that fact, and he'll have the boys primed up for a big effort. And certainly Melbourne cannot be underrated.
Well, Frankston were defeated by this Melbourne side, and yet Frankston beat the Falcons, so that sort of a comparison puts the Falcons under some pressure.
Yes, well, the Frankston certainly defeated surprisingly the Falcons a couple of weeks ago in an away game, and then yet they turn around and Melbourne beat them by 20-odd points, which suggests that you can't take any of these teams easy at all.
This is going to be no pushover, and we'll pick up the action as they tip off. First quarter underway, the Falcons playing in wide of course, and the visiting side, Melbourne Tigers, in the orange and yellow colours. 24 minutes a half, or 12 minutes of quarter, so there's plenty of basketball, and one wonders if we can finish up with an exciting match, or one as exciting as last week, as Rabilia, the skipper Falcons, goes high, but is fouled. This is Bateman, the player seconded from the Newcastle Hunters, who's had a sensational start in the 1984 season. And that man, Mike Johnson, Dennis, can certainly hit him a long way out.
Yeah, tremendous shooter, Michael, tremendous shooter.
He seems as though he gets hot periods and other times perhaps is a little, seems anyway, reluctant to shoot.
Well, yes, there's a lot of shooters in the team, so there's only X amount of shots to go around. But when Michael's hot, he will be given the ball.
This is a jump ball here. 3-0 in favour of the Falcons. Picking up the ball now is the number 10, Andrew Gaze. They say he's on the way to Los Angeles. Well, that sort of form certainly might be. Son of the coach of the Melbourne Tigers, Lindsay Gaze, the national coach. This is Ian Rubillion. Round the corner to Ian Davies. A sensational match last week where he really wrapped it up finally from a three-pointer from near the corner. Bateman loses possession, goes away to the number 5, and that is Brian Goorjian, one of the experienced players in the side. Bateman finds Johnson in the daylight. Whoa! Went in. 5-2. This is a big leap, I guess, Dennis, coming from the South Eastern League up into the National Basketball League, and the winners of last year, Melbourne Tigers, are going to learn a lot in their first season.
Yes, it's they won the South Eastern League last year and come up into the first year of the National League. There is a bit of a jump there, and Coach Lindsay Gale will certainly use this year for learning.
From the side, it's Brian Goorjian. Turn it to number 4, James Kirkup. And from the back line immediately with a score 5-5, it's Jerry Denard, the import to the Falcons side, the American player. This is Rubillion away to Michael Johnson. Across the keyway, got into Bateman. Bateman turns, unable to pop it away on that occasion. Denard tried to knock it in. It's picked up there by number 4, and that's James Kirkup. The ball at least goes wide to Goorjian. Across it comes to Andrew Gaze, leading scorer, as we said in our preview. That's the number 13 there getting into the game, Alan Westover. Oh, ball taken from the hands of one of the Tigers. Away to Jerry Denard, who can't catch up with it and therefore can't control it. 5 each. On the side is Westover. Over away to Goorjian, the player bandaged around both knees. Seems to be travelling okay. When he came onto the court, he seemed to be limping. Oh, he's warmed up, he's okay. Will that go in? It does go in. James Kirkup, the man. It's been a good start to the season for the Falcons.
Excellent start, Lee, excellent start. Jim Bateman coming into the team have given them a nice massage. You can see Jim Bateman there. Normally he doesn't block, he's such a strong player that he takes the bigger men on. There's a fine steal by Johnson. Certainly was. This is Davies from a long way out. Oh, got it right. 7 apiece. 8:44 in the first quarter remaining. 7 apiece, so both sides have started pretty well. This is Westover. Gave the quick ball up there to the number 6, Russ Dyer. He's one of the American imported players. Going high as Davies for the rebound. Way to win, Rubillion. Rubillion said to me in an interview a week or so back that he'd never been cleaner. That's certainly good information, and playing well as the skipper. It's Moose is playing excellent basketball. He's been given the job of running the game for the Falcons, and he's certainly doing that in great style.
Timeout called by the Melbourne Tigers bench. 5:08 remains in the quarter. The Falcons lead 13 points to 9. And then Westover for side. Goorjian now. Got round Davies. In it goes to Gaze, who found the ring very well there. Timed his run to perfection, and the pass was good. The Tigers to lead 22 to 19. 1:24 remaining in the first quarter. As Rubillion brings it up. I guess Coach Ankeny, I know it's a long way from home, would like to lead at quarter time, though, just the same. Bit of a psychological advantage to always maintain that lead at the breaks, Dennis. He'd probably be a little disappointed they are behind now after leading by a few points early on.
Yes, Lou, it's a similar pattern to Through the game for the Falcons, they certainly break out and lead early, and then they slow down, and for a period of, well, they've been scoreless for the last 5 minutes, but they've come back strongly in the third quarter.
This is Rebellion. And it goes this time to Bateman. Bateman has a couple of tries and trouble really before he could get the ball away. Good defence there forcing him there. Alan Westover, Brian Goorjian. Only about 40 seconds remaining in this quarter. Away it goes to Goorjian once more. Back to Andrew Gaze. Away to Peter Walsh. Strong one to Alan Westover. Certainly plenty of time for a good shot. Walsh has been fouled there for hanging on to Davies. On the side it's Rebellion. Got the ball back to bring it up, and the Falcons now have time for at least one good shot. This is Bateman. Into Davies. The ball was too high, but Bateman will get it back again. Eventually forced into touch and dropped into someone's lap in the crowd, actually. Brian Goorjian. Good crowd in here tonight at the Sports Entertainment Centre in Newcastle. Just 9 seconds, 8 seconds in it. The Falcons will go to quarter time behind. This is Westover's going to try the shot. Got it in too for 24-19 at quarter time. For the Melbourne Tigers side to lead the story, really, of the first quarter in statistics.
Well, before we go, there's Brian Goorjian again with another 3-point. That's 4 out of 4 he's made from the 3-point line. But there's the story on the screen of the difference in the scoring is the Falcons are only hitting 29% from the floor, as against the Tigers 47. The Falcons have averaged 48 this year, so they're certainly way behind that. Rebounds are much the same. Falcons with 9 to the Tigers 11, so there's not much difference there. And the turnovers, the Tigers have lost the ball 9 times to the Falcons 7.
The Tigers Gaze as it tried to knock it in. They got the points too. 29-21 now. 8 points the difference. And the Falcons are going to be extended tonight despite the placings on the ladder. The Melbourne side at the bottom and the Falcons at the top, but certainly some talent in this Melbourne side.
I think one other major aspect of the first quarter was that one of the top players for the Melbourne Tigers, number 6 Russ Dwyer, has 3 fouls, and they can't afford to pick up another foul on him.
With these 4 quarters, Dennis, we've mentioned before, these fouls are a real problem for coaches, aren't they?
Yes, certainly if you run into 1 or 2 or 3 fouls in the first quarter, there's very little chance of you lasting the game now.
Brian Goorjian. 5 fouls, of course, and you're out. You're on the bench. Andrew Gaze to Westover to Peter Walsh. Got it away to Goorjian once more, who knocked it in for a 10-point gap now, with the Melbourne Tigers side leading. Certainly give them great confidence. Who dearly love to beat the Falcons. Plenty of competition between these two clubs over the years. Jerry Denard failed to get it in. Jim Bateman almost struggled through there, was expecting to get a foul call against one of the Melbourne side. Big number 6 Russ Dwyer back on the court again.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Jim Bateman has scored a basket. He scored 41 points last week, and I don't think he's made a basket yet.
This is Jerry Denard. Takes it back now to Ian Davies. Ian Rebellion, the captain of the side, now to Bateman. Dennis said he's been well and truly covered here tonight. Had the ball, yeah.
We've got it back, Ian Davies from the top. Beautiful pass, beautiful pass.
Rebellion knocked it away. Davies knew where Rebellion was there, and as Dennis pointed out, gave it to him very directly. Goorjian now. That's a bit more like, oh, Davies tried to steal the ball, but it's gone off his hands over the sideline. And Goorjian from the side, got it away to Peter Walsh. Very important player, obviously, in the Tigers outfit is Goorjian. He's everywhere. There he is on the ball again. Over the top it goes to Walsh. Dwyer can't get it in, and coming up with a rebound was Jerry Denard. Get it away to Moose Rebellion. Way to Jimmy Bateman now. The hand off to Rebellion as Bateman will go in and try and get a little bit closer to the ring. Of course, the attacking players, according to the rules, aren't allowed to prop under that ring. They can't stay in that keyway for more than 3 seconds when they're in a offence, but it's come off the hands of Walsh, it would be, is it? 31-23 in favour of the Melbourne Tigers, 8:46 remaining in the quarter. From the side, it's the Tigers, getting it into Andrew Gaze. Makes his way up the court, showing a good turn of pace too. Got it away there to the number 12 coming into the game, and that's Nigel Purchase, who's only been on a matter of moments. Johnson from the side. Going away to Rebellion. Way to Jerry Denard. Crash, bang, wallop, and down he goes, big man Walsh. And banged the floor and said, I didn't do it.
Yes, he's suggesting that they should have, and there's coach Lindsay Gaze. I think he's right on this occasion.
On the bench. Can't make that many mistakes.
Peter Walsh was, had good position, I feel, on the baseline. Jerry Denard ploughed into him, but the call's gone the other way, and Lindsay Gay's certainly not too happy.
Neither's Walsh, and coming into the game is Jeff Patterson. For the Falcons, as they lose possession quickly there. And Gaze gets the good strong pass in, and goes to Walsh once more. Goorjian now, over the top to Andrew
Three-point
Gaze.
play.
Oh, almost knocked it in too. Johnson comes away with pace, and so does Rebellion. Rebellion swooped on it there, 31-25, the Falcons trail. As the Melbourne Tigers are putting on a good performance here tonight. Dennis, as I suggested to you in our opener, these are sometimes the matches that get away, and certainly the Tigers are looking quite good at the moment.
Yes, and the Falcons don't appear to have their rhythm going. As you suggest, they may have taken the game a little easy.
Goorjian now.
Three-pointer again.
Ooh, nearly on line once more. Frank Goldfinch coming into the game for the Falcons now. Both that Patterson used very regularly from the bench. Oh, Michael Johnson, thank you. What a top shooter he is when he's on line. 31-27. Melbourne still lead, but the gap has narrowed a bit now as we find Goldfinch and Patterson out there, obviously with the purpose of bustling the visitors tonight. Jerry Denard, good strong pass to Bateman. Can he get round the back of the backboard and knock it in? They're going high, tap, won't go in, will not go in. This is Patterson. Over the top to Mike Johnson. That's the way to put him in. Only a two-pointer, but from a long, long way out at the top of the keyway. 31-29 as the Falcons starting to come alive a bit.
I think the substitutions of Frank Goldfinch and Jeff Patterson certainly liven the game up.
Kirk ups into the game for Walsh now for the Melbourne Tigers. Obviously, Coach Lindsay Gaze wants to get someone out with a little bit fresher to keep this up-pace of Patterson and Goldfinch, who have done just that. 31-29,
bang.
Long way out.
Another three-pointer. Five three-pointers for number 5, Brian Goorjian.
Back it goes this time, Goorjian once more. Well, he's been online from a long way up, this fellow. As I said, he seemed to limp his way onto the court tonight. There's obviously not much wrong with him. Wasn't it a good pass for Gaze to knock it away? 36-29 as the Tigers once more skip to a bit of a lead. Only 7 points with all the time in the world to score 70. But just the same, it's a pretty close cut in the second quarter. Jeff Patterson tried to struggle through the middle there and was fouled by the number 12, and that's Nigel Purchase. 36-29 in favour of the Tigers.
Stay back and then he goes right to go. Right? A minute 34, let's get right back to the game now. Falling 5 down, 2 and a half time, even Steven, huh? Let's go, Frankie. Let's go. Let's go. Get up for you guys. Let's go.
Coach Dave Ankeny would be happy to go even Stevens, as you saw there. And that gap 5 with 1:28 remaining in the half. Goorjian bringing the ball up, almost lost control as Goldfinch arrived. Get it away to Westover. Now to Andrew Gaze. Russ Dyer over the top. Plenty close enough to knock it in, and doesn't extend the lead. As we'll find Goldfinch to get the game underway once more. 7 the gap. Plenty of coaching from the sideline there, as you can see, and shot Lindsay Gaze going into the Falcons. Narrow it back to 5. There's that longer pass over the top to Dyer, and it worked again on that occasion. Michael Johnson Got it in this time to Goldfish.
Three-pointer, Johnson.
My word. From outside the yellow line, that narrowed it somewhat. There's only 4 in it now. Going into the half-time, and as we said, Dave Anthony would love to see it even.
Yes, well, there's a difference in the game right there with the Tigers hitting on 50%, which is very good. The Falcons bringing it up, bringing up pressure at 37%. Rebounding, the Falcons certainly, because they're poorer shooter, are getting more chances. Naturally, they've got 20 rebounds to the Tigers 14.
There it is, 37%, 50%, and there's the turnovers, 13-12 to the Falcons. As we find Goorjian now, gets in there.
Oh.
Geez, had a top game this bloke so far.
Tremendous half.
They lead 54-46 as they go to half-time. And the visitors, well, a bit surprisingly in front, and the Falcons with it all to do. Second half underway now. Possession coming to the Falcons after a bit of struggle there by Jerry Denard. They trailed by 8 points at half-time. So the Falcons have it all to do, and the Melbourne Tigers have had a very, very good first half.
Right, yes, Lee, the Falcons have improved the shooting. They're got it up to 42, so they're certainly coming back and getting that percentage up, which is good. The Tigers are stuck around the 52, which is an excellent shooting mark. The Falcons are still stuck on the 20 rebounds. They're leading in the rebound department of the Tigers 14. And the turnovers are dead level with 14 apiece. Turnovers, of course, are a loss of possession by either team.
Peter Walsh turns there, won't go in. Freeman coming up with the ball. It was Ian Davies there. 54-46 now. And boy, oh boy, the third quarter's been the quarter where the Falcons have turned round in plenty of matches this season. And Dennis, they need to continue that sort of style of play here tonight.
Yes, they need another big quarter. The third quarter has been their best quarter in all games to date. They've given leads to a lot of sides, and this has been the quarter they've got back into the front.
They'll need to do it again. It would be a real boil-over should the Falcons be beaten here tonight. Knocked away, this is Andrew Gaze. Won't go in for him either. And coming up with a ball tonight. 54-46, still 8 the difference. Ian Rebellion got it away to Ian Davies. Strong pass to Denard, doesn't go in. Denard was well positioned, got the ball well, but was forced to shoot quickly and was offline. Alan Westover. Got it away now to Andrew Gaze. Strongly across to Goorjian. He's been red hot this bloke. Oh.
And again, that would make 22 points for the game. He had to score 20 half-time, and 15 of those points came from the three-point line where he shot 5 out of 8, so that's tremendous shooting.
My word it is. This is him again, Brian Goorjian. Man, stuff like Kingston Town, but by gee, he doesn't slow him down. That's a good shot. Alan Westover knocked it in, 58-46. And the Melbourne Tigers side lead by an amazing 12 points. Right, gee, the Falcons have got to get their mind on the job here, don't worry. There's plenty of time to go, but there needs to be some application. Bateman has had a pretty ordinary game by his standards tonight, when obviously well guarded by the opposition. Say that heard of Bateman before they got here.
Yes, they've done an excellent job on him. Number 6, Russ Dwyer, has kept Jim Bateman pretty quiet. He's also back 3 fouls in doing so.
This is Westover from a long way out. Doesn't go in, and going high was Ian Rebellion. There's a long ball to Michael Johnson, and it's in at 2 points. 58-50 now. Tigers still lead as Brian Goorjian will bring the ball back up. Over the top it goes to Dyer, the man Dennis spoke of. Alan Westover. Going high is Jerry Denard to rebound. We find the Tigers a little offline with some of their shooting. That's something they haven't done. It's Rebellion put some spark into the game. Found a pass through there, fair dinkum. Quite unusual so far in the defence of this Melbourne side. Brian Goorjian gave it away to Peter Walsh, knocked away by Denard. Denard picked it up, got it away to Mike Johnson, who will get points, will he or not, was fouled. Johnson's hit the ground pretty hard there. Helped back up by the big American player, Dyer. And timeout is called now by the Melbourne bench. They need 58-52. 8 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Around about the 7-foot-tall mark, this bloke. A little bit too much breakfast in that one. 62-59. Has the opportunity of getting moved from 3 shots. Fails with it and going high was Denard to give it away to Davies. Inside Gaze. The palm off on Andrew Gaze. The beat Falcons side. Got into Jerry Denard. Brilliant with it. What can he do? Ian Davies finds a little bit of time to finish it. Oh, he's hot when he gets hot, this bloke, Ian Davies. Ball kept in the game. Brilliantly round out of Gaze. Got it away to Mike Johnson. Johnson, yes! My word! They've really turned it on in the third quarter to now lead 66-59. It's almost as if Coach Ankeny said go.
Certainly seems that way. I'd say a few harsh words in the change room, and the Falcons players themselves have picked up the pace, and you can see the results now as again Rebilliard brings it down again.
It's away from Westover to give it away to Ian Davies. Rebilliard finding good position. Denard said, thank you. Like me, he's up there. Just went up and dropped it in. Brian Goorjian. Oh, yeah.
Three-pointer.
Absolutely in brilliant touch, this man Goorjian.
That's his 6 from the three-point line.
Not a bad night's work, and he's been in every other part of the game as well. Ian Rebilliard. Mike Johnson. Rebilliard will turn and shoot. Does go in, going high for the rebound was Dyer and also Denard, and a foul has been called.
They'll call that foul on Jerry Denard, and it'll be Tigers ball from the side.
Brian Goorjian is coming into the game as Nigel Purchase to replace Andrew Gaze. It goes to Westover. Won't go in there. That was James Kirk up to number 4. Ian Davies. Oh, dropped in well by Bateman. 70 points to 62, and the match is all turned round.
Foul called Johnson. Mike Johnson's first foul. It's a great pass. Oh, and another missed basket.
Unbelievable.
Tigers can't do it right now. That's a little bit of pressure.
Jerry Denard to let it one bounce, you might say. This is Ian Rebilliard. Dennis, the pressure's come on and they've sort of come unstuck. As far as their accuracy is concerned, if the Falcons get another one in.
Yeah, it's all Falcons now, Lee. They've increased the tempo of their defence. Tigers are certainly forcing their shots now. They actually forced their shots. And there's another 4 shot. He drew the foul on Ian Davies.
Goorjian is like a machine. He's knocked in 6, I think it is, from the 3-point line. And look at that. It'll look too easy from that charity line for this man. It's from the back court. We'll find Jerry Denard to get the game underway once. 64-72 the Tigers trail. After leading comfortably most of that second quarter, Ian Davies, a little bit blind, plenty of Falcons in there looking for that ball. Davies, one of them, offline again, and he got it back to Davies. Strong pass away to Mike Johnson, yes! Well, that's tenacity. Davies stayed in the game, struggling and fighting for possession to allow Johnson to eventually wrap up points. Ball knocked away well there, and Ian Davies score. Got it away to Mike Johnson, bit too strong, the ball came away from Westover to Rebilliard. Rebilliard got points. And he'll go to the line for a 3-point play as he was fouled in the process of shooting. Ian Rebilliard. That's how much it missed by. So this is a jump ball between 2 of the bigger men, Russ Dyer and Jerry Denard, both Americans. The Falcons lead 76-64. Neither of them really got it and came down in possession of the Tigers. Brian Goorjian. What a sensational game he's had. He's missed one, would you believe, from the three-point line, and he hasn't done that too often tonight. Ian Davies, away there, 2 million. Off Goorjian, who doesn't agree, and will be Falcons aside. Jerry Denard, the one over the top to Bateman. 78-64, and by gee, the turnaround, despite the fact that it was a little predictable on previous form, has been nothing short of amazing. Look at this. Dungaroo! The crowd love that. So does Denard, but he doesn't, Lindsay Gaze. He thinks that's very ordinary. Gee, he must be shattered as the coach, Dennis, you know the feeling.
Yes, he's not much he can do. It's all Falcons. All Falcons this quarter.
Dyer struggles back in to regain possession, but you wouldn't believe it, they just will not go in. Look at this. Michael Johnson. It's amazing how luck, if that's what it is the pressure, as Dennis explained, of the defence of the Falcons, but it just will not go in for the Melbourne side. It's going in plenty for the Falcons. 82-64 as they've fared Ingham Bolton, the Newcastle high-flying Falcons. Ian Williams. Michael Johnson, thank you. I guess the cynics could suggest they got the money on at half-time.
Well, it seems that much. Some brilliant basketball out there by the 5 players. Falcons, another great pass by Johnson, and another dunk.
Good heaven's sake! If there were stewards in this game, the Falcons would get their life, I think. Have they come alive since half-time? 86-64. And the Melbourne boys must be wondering what happened.
Substitution to around the Tigers, number 10,
86-64, the Falcons now lead the Melbourne Tigers. This is Andrew Gaze. Seems certain to be a teammate of Ian Davies at the games. I don't think he'd really mind being on the Falcon side at the moment after this switcheroo. 86-66 and the gap is 20. This is Mike Johnson. Frank Goldfinch. Jim Bateman won't win for him, and the ball's gone over the back line.
The Melbourne Tigers have only scored 4 shots in the last 24 attempts this quarter.
Isn't that amazing? That is the pressure of the up-paced Falcons defence.
Into the bonus free throw by the Falcons and the Tigers. Alan Westover goes to the line, makes the first one.
This is team fouls. Once you've registered 5 team fouls, all subsequent ones cause free throws. Gee, that's hard to say. The mob don't like that decision either.
So, referee Beals got a holding foul on Jim Bateman. And this time Neil Purchase will go to the line for 2.
Not the first one in, and the Falcons are starting to get into foul troubles. They have 3 players on 3 fouls for Billion, Patterson and Bateman. So several of those players have fouled out of the game, of course. Things can turn back the other way. This is Goldfinch. A short substitution called there by the Falcons bench.
3 points a game.
He'll get in the Australian rifle team, this bloke.
We'll need to rifle another 7 in, Lee, to get back in the game.
Certainly will, but by June.
There's Johnson answers. Johnson's given the answer down the other end. 3-pointer. Michael Johnson.
102-80. He's certainly 80's part Goorjian. Now it's Russ Dyer. Goes in under the basket, will not go in. Jerry Denard. There's Mike Johnson once more. 104-80 as the Falcons drive the nail now deep into the coffin of the Tigers. Timeout light on from the Tigers. Coach Lindsay Gaze as soon as there's a break in play. Andrew Gaze shows his skills. 104.82 now the Falcons lead. 22 points the gap, and one gets the feeling they can even put more petrol on here. Rebellion got through there, round the corner to Bateman, another beautiful pass.
Beautiful pass. Unfortunately, the travel has been called on Bateman.
Timeout called, 104.82, the Falcons lead. 6 minutes 35 remains in the game.
So we come down here, we don't make the play down there, and it's not a contest. Well, when we're doing wind sprints up and down the floor, it's a very physically demanding exercise. We can't play that sort of game. We've got to be more subtle what we're doing. Come down, turn it over a couple of times, then they can play, because we're running up and down this way. Here, we've got to turn it over down here, play more offense and less defense. Because, your man is playing. I don't want you helping out off anyone. Don't help out off anyone, just stay with your man. On the break, I'm just going to go to him. Yeah, but even so, just stay with your man. Don't worry about helping out.
Well, Dennis, I suppose you could wrap it up by saying when the Falcons decided to put on the petrol, they went fast and the other mob slowed down noticeably.
Well, it certainly looked that way, Lee. It's that third quarter again, the Falcons came out full of fire. Purely they applied the pressure on the defensive end, and caused the Melbourne Tigers certainly to force their shooting, which allowed them to miss. The Falcons then burst up the other end and everything went right for them. They piled on 40 points for the quarter.
From the light now, Nigel Purchase. 111.92. Purchase once more. Doesn't get points going high. There was Rouse, couldn't control it. Got into the hands of Begg. He's put Patterson over the sideline, and I'll go up for 2 free throws up the other end of the court. So it's only 28 seconds remaining, and it's just academic now.
Yes, and it's 5 fouls. 5 fouls on number 7, Oliver. He leaves the court.
That's in the number 7 receiving Mark Oliver.
Kirkuk comes in for Oliver as we find Patterson to the line. Doesn't fall clean, but it's, I say it's academic, 111.92, but he'd like to get range nonetheless. Goes in high, Patterson, and gets the hard shot. Alan Westover through the hole to Ian Rouse, away to James Kirkuk. Patterson went up in the air, fair dinkum, and came down almost stride man. This is Gavin Kelly. Way to Frank Goldfinch. Goldfinch away to, it would be Begg, but the ball from the side with just 4 seconds to go to the Tigers. Westover goes in there to try the shot. Misses with it. The Falcons win 113-94, and Coburg the big timers next week. Wow, what a turnaround. And after that blistering third quarter, Newcastle completely dominated the remainder of the match and ran out winners 113-94. Mike Johnson, one of those purple patch games, 41 points, the man of the match award. After the game, I asked him, had he had second thoughts now about pulling out of that Olympic squad?
Not really, Lee. I thought about it a lot before I did it, so that has that doesn't change my mind at all. I was just happy to play a good game in front of the home crowd and finally get back a little bit of shooting form.
You certainly did. That was my next question. 1 week you seemed quiet, next week a very, very hot performance, and tonight was one of those nights.
Well, actually, I don't know if I played a much better game this week than I did last week. Last week was more defensive orientated, and I shot 56% from the floor last week, which was not too bad. But tonight I think, I shot well, but I didn't play as well a defense. So, I'm trying to make my game all round, so if I can get the shooting down and the defense down, I'll be real happy.
Obviously it is a team tactic, though, to get it to the man that's hot at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's right, and that's what our team's doing really well at the moment. Jim Bateman's been very hot during the season, and we're just pushing the ball inside through Dave Ankany's instructions, and it's paying dividends for us.
I suggested that the cynics might say you got the money on at half-time tonight. See that third quarter. Boy, oh boy.
Well, if we play well in the first half, then it's all over from there on.
Congratulations on a great game.
Thanks very much, Lee.
To bring you up to date, the Geelong Cats lead the Western Division, undefeated, so a marvellous result this far into the competition. In the Eastern Division, led by Coburg, 9 wins and 1 loss from Brisbane and Newcastle. Of course, they're Newcastle's opponents tonight at the Sports Entertainment Centre. The Most Valuable Player Award sees Leroy Loggins on 27 points. He hasn't scored in the last 2 games though. Then Crawford, then the league's top scorer Benny Lewis. He'll be on display tonight. And then Jim Bateman of Newcastle on 22 points and Danny Keogh are the top 5 in that competition. Tonight's match, as I say, Newcastle and Coburg. It will be a full house. Join the crowd out there, and that's our match for replay next week on Sports Centre 3.